Welcome to this episode of the Harpreet Singh Show. I'm your host Harpreet Singh from Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. In today's program, my guest is a well known author and a motivational speaker, and he'll be talking on a very important subject. We are always concerned about other things, but we forget that we are our own most valuable asset. So, what to do and what to keep in mind to preserve this honor of being the most valuable asset? Let's get over to Dileep Nigam and continue our talk with him. Dileep ji, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir. How are you? Thank you
I'm
very
doing
much for
great. Thank
calling
you
me.
very much. Thanks to you. So, how's everything going on?
Everything is fantastic. Nice to be
Wonderful.
here.
So, everything is fantastic, but there is one thing what we are finding physically and mentally we are being drained, and we are forgetting that we are our most valuable asset. Could you please elaborate on this subject as to what all we need to know and what we ought to do to maintain this dignity and honor of having the most valuable asset?
Awesome. It's a very wonderful topic, RPG, and I would love to talk about it today. Uh, I would just want to share an incident. I was attending a John Maxwell conference a few years back, and John Maxwell, my coach and mentor from the stage, asked us a question, in fact, the crowd, and there were about 5,000 people there. And he said, take a yellow notepad, a sticky note, and write on that what is the most valuable asset you have. So people started writing their cars, started writing about their homes. They are owning $1 million, $2 million, $3 million homes, or even $10 million homes. And he came back and he said, you know what? All these assets are depreciating asset. They depreciate. Houses may appreciate depending upon the situation, but the asset which will always appreciate with time is you yourself, provided you are consciously investing into it. And that really opened up the eyes of a lot of people. Now, consider that you buy a property today worth $2 million and you want to rent it out, or and you start thinking about upgrading it, invest in renovating it, invest about $500,000 or whatever to bring it to the top notch. Why? To add value and enhance value of the asset you purchased. Let me ask you a question. When did you last invest in your own self to enhance your value?
Right.
In fact, I have recently written a book which is called How to Future Proof Your Career in the Post COVID Era. Some of us have lost the jobs. Some of us are concerned about losing a job or are not sure about how the economy will treat them in the near future. But they miss out the basic point. Are you the most valuable asset the company must always have? Now, giving another perspective here, all of us would have received a notification from our cell phone operator to upgrade the system. Why is that needed? What do you do with that? You use that. Do you ignore it or you apply that? Yes, you apply that to upgrade your operating system of the cell phone. Why do you do that? You do that to have a foolproof, virus free, stable operating system of your cell phone. When did you last invest in your own self to create a foolproof operating system of yourself? See, it's like this. What we are today is based on what we learned and what we experienced over a period of time.
Right.
However, what we would be in the future will depend upon what we invest today in ourselves. And on the same premise, I want to talk about my journey story. When I was in Singapore and I had worked in project management field for almost about 20 years, but I wanted to move into a new project field, which was supply chain management and commercial function. I gave a few interviews, but I was not selected for that. And I did realize that I don't have the expertise to be able to take up a management position in that new field, which I wanted to see. Now, keeping that in mind, I registered myself in evening programs in Singapore. And I undertook those programs for a period of 4 years in the evening classes, invested over 20 grand into that. But that investment actually paid me off so well that finally, when I left Singapore and moved to Canada, I was the country commercial head for a French multinational, $6 billion company in Singapore. But interestingly, that education, that investment on me paid off when I landed in Singapore too, in Canada too. Because in Canada, the job I got was because of that expertise and experience I had with the French multinational in Singapore. Now, that is what is called investment of time and investment of money. So we really need to be mindful of, are we actually committing to investment into ourselves to enhance our value proposition? Okay. So this is one perspective, RPG, I want to talk.
G.
Now, another perspective which I want to throw about is, you would have heard a word USP, unique selling proposition.
Proposition.
Now, what is the USP of Apple? High tech, world class products. The question is, there was a time when Nokia was selling for $100 or $200 in the market and it was ruling the market. And then came Apple. iPhone came at a price of $500. How were they able to sell a $500 phone in comparison to Nokia, which was selling $100 to $150?
Right.
There has to be a strong value proposition. Then only a customer will invest that money into iPhone. And they keep selling today at $1,000 to or more
Oh,
than
yeah.
$1,000. Why are people craving for it? People take pride in holding a cell phone or iPhone in their hands. And it has become more than a cell phone, become a lifestyle product, right? USP is nothing but unique selling proposition. What differentiates you from your competition? And that is called USP. Now, my question to you and to listeners is, if you were facing an interview and you were asked a question by the interview board, what's your USP? Do you have the answer?
Very true.
What special value proposition you bring to the table? And why should I recruit you? My question is this. Or there is another question thrown at the people is, describe yourself in 3 words which differentiate you from your competition. Are you aware of those 3 words which differentiates you as everybody may be an engineer or an MBA in the market. Who is your competitor? In what way? Why should the employer recruit you? You have to know your USP. And that you will know only when it comes to another perspective. You need to know who I am. If I have asked this question many times for the people, who I am
Right.
or who am I?
Absolutely.
People
So,
find it so
Dileepji,
hard
what
to
you
answer.
pointed out is very important because, first of all, hardly we know our USPs. We are just carrying on, but how much time do we invest in ourselves? That's the most important thing. And how
Yes.
and what to invest in yourself is a question that many would be liking to know. So, we'll first go for a break, and once we are back, we will continue with this process of learning as to who we are and how to differentiate ourselves from others and how to have a unique USP so that we are able to succeed in whatever we want to do. So let's go for a break. We'll be shortly back.
ਹਰ ਰੰਗ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋ ਹਰ ਮਾਡਲ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਦੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਪਹਿਚਾਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਹਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਕਰਮ ਹੈ ਅੱਗੇ ਵਧਾਉਣਾ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਨੂੰ ਸੌਖਾ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਬਸੰਤ ਮੋਟਰਸ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕਰਕੇ
है जुल्म ढाने का अंदाज भी कितना हंसी हमारी जान पर बनाई है जब जब उसने अंगड़ाई ली कभी खामोश रहते हैं कभी शोर होता है मोहब्बत में शरारत का मजा कुछ और होता है दिल को जज्बात का तोहफा खामोशियों को बात का तोहफा खूबसूरती में जड़ी नजाकत अदाओं की चांद से मुखड़े को चांद सा तोहफा
भारत ज्वेलर्स सच्चे प्यार की चमक जैसा फाइल बिजनेस सेंटर सरी
ਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਰੀ ਡੈਲਟਾ ਰਿਚਮੰਡ ਐਬਸਫੋਰਡ ਜਾਂ ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਵਾਂ ਘਰ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਨੋਵੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਤਜਰਬੇਕਾਰ ਬਿਲਡਰ ਇੱਕ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟਿਵ ਇੰਟੀਰੀਅਰ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਰ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਹੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਗਾਈਡ ਕਰ ਸਕਣ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਉਸਾਰ ਸਕਣ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਜਾਂ ਸੰਦੀਪ 6048259295 ਉੱਤੇ
Once again, welcome back to the program. This program is being brought to you with the support of AMC Insurance. If you're looking for home, auto, travel, business, life, or recreational insurance, they have 9 branches in the lower mainland to serve you, and they're open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. For more information, call 604-507-6666. Our next sponsor is Agnihotri Immigration Consulting. If you're looking for wanting to know about temporary status, you're a PR, you're an international student, you want to come to Canada, or you want to sponsor parents or grandparents, or you want to know about citizenship, you can be helped by Neera Agnihotri, who has been working as a certified immigration consultant since 2006. For honest and reliable information, depend upon her. Call her at 604-597-2284. Today we are talking to Dileep Nigam, who is a well-known author and a motivational speaker. And what we are talking about is that what is the most valuable asset you have? And most of the times we'll be counting upon our luxury cars or our houses or other things. But we forget that we ourselves are our most valuable asset. So on this particular aspect, let's learn more, because before the break, Dileep ji was talking about how to identify who you are. Who am I? So Dileep ji, who are we and how to identify what we are?
Excellent. This is a very vital question which we really need to address very sincerely to ourselves. Not to impress anybody, but to know ourselves. What is the core? Now, when you succeed in life, I did my engineering and started with an engineering company. And with the 40 plus years of experience, I have an education in a specific field and about 40 years of experience. Now that's my value proposition, and that is what is my core strength. But again, even in mechanical engineering, there are different fields, elements of it. Whether are you in maintenance field, or you're in project management, or in many other fields, it depends upon what's your core competency. So the first thing we need to know is, and I have in fact devised a system which I discuss in detail in my book, is how to future-proof your career in the post-COVID era, and I will have some good news about it at the end of the talk. So you have to go through the system and understand how to define who you are. The first element of that system is identify your core strength. What's your core strength? What is your core competency? And think about it, whether you can allocate what score would you like to give to yourself on a score of 1 to 10. If you're able to give yourself a score of 9 out of 10, that's great. But build an alternate career path then. But if you are already giving yourself a score on the core competency of between 0 to 7 or 1 to 7, you really need to work to enhance that. Remember one thing, there's nothing like I am okay or I am good. You need to talk about excellence in whatever you do. You need to attain a level of excellence and expertise in what you do in your core competency. That's the first element. Apart from core competency, there's something called soft skills. Now, World Economic Forum has recently come out a list which says there are 10 skill sets which you need to be competent on or be expert on in the coming field to be excelling in life in the coming times. I will just read that list.
Sure.
Complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordination with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision making, service orientation, negotiation, and cognitive flexibility. You can search LinkedIn and you can search other portals also. You will find some other list, maybe some of them could be common. For example, emotional intelligence is a common element which appears there. And it is very vital that we have that soft skill. Now, soft skills also include presentation skills, communication skills, negotiation skills. Now, some of the skills you may already have. Allocate a score between 1 to 10 on that. If you are around 4 or 5 on these skills like presentation skills, communication skills, negotiation skills, which are day-to-day needed, you really need to work on it again. So my system which I have created requires you to focus on one core skill set to enhance it from between 7 to 10, and a soft skill which you already have to again enhance it between 7 to 10. Register yourself for some programs in the evening and be diligent in undertaking those programs. But interesting part is this, which is very, very vital if you want to succeed in this system, is an accountability partner. You need to have an accountability partner so that who keeps a tab on how are you progressing. I would also suggest that you can register yourself in the developmental plan with your boss in the company and say, sir, I want to hone my skills in this skill set, which is one of my core competencies, to go to the next level. And also, I want to register for enhancing my skill set in a soft skill in the next 6 months. So in the next 6 months, you polish yourself and polish your skill set. One core competency, one soft skill, which is already with you.
Right.
Enhance it from 6 to 10 or go below at least 8, 9, 10, whatever. This is one step. Identify another 2 skill set in the next 6 months. Means I'm talking of a 1-year plan.
Right.
So pick another 2 skill sets for the next 6 months, means 6 to 12 months, and another soft skill there. Now, if you're already very good on some of the soft skills, let me give you a story. Like when I was interviewed here in BC Hydro 7 years back or 6 years back or 10 years back when I landed here, 60% of the questions asked, because I was actually interviewing for a management cadre, 60% of the questions posed to me by the committee, interview board, were soft skill based. And it is not enough to just say that, yes, I'm good in communication. Or they will ask you pointed questions to actually demonstrate through a real life story, that to explain and prove that you are competent in that skill set. If you say, I'm good at presentation skills, how many presentations did you do in the past 1 year? How many were the gatherings? How did the question answer session last? Right? How was the feedback on that presentation? They possibly will talk about specifics to pinpoint that actually you are good, you are really good of what you are saying.
Right.
So you can't fake the management committee on those elements. You got to be very thorough on what you're doing. So you need to master those skill sets. Now, if you say you are very good in presentation skills, communication skills, negotiation skills, fair enough. Conflict resolution, I'm sure there are numerous subjects which you can pick out and say, okay, I think I need to work on. How many of people, how many listeners are actually ready to manage conflict resolution or even deliver a talk on communication skills?
Right.
It's very hard. You may think you are good at it, but there may be people better than you.
Absolutely.
Are you ready to compete with them? You need to basically do an introspection to identify, reflection on your own self,
Right.
to be able to see, are you ready for the market?
That's
Are
very
you
true
top-notch
because, Mr. Deep, as you're pointing out, in this age of cutthroat competition, you can't just sit complacent and say that I know everything. You have
Nope.
to upgrade yourself, and until and unless you upgrade yourself, you will probably, if you might be thinking that you know everything, but you'll be left behind if you are not keeping up with the times. And for that, you have to invest in yourself. And as you pointed out about the core competition, that is very important. And apart from that, the soft skills, they need to be nurtured, they need to be learned. And further, now there is no dearth of courses which sitting at home also you can learn sitting in front of the computer. Let's go for a break, and in the last segment we'll learn more from you as to what else needs to be done and how to do it, because that's the most important thing. As you very rightly pointed out, that you need to have some accountability partner whom, because mind is such, it runs around. You might feel inspired for some time, but then slowly it can go down. But if you have someone who is you are accountable to, then definitely you can progress. So we'll talk all about this after the short break.
ਘਰ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੀ ਥਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਨਿੱਜੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਸੁਨਹਿਰੀ ਪਲ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਜੀਵਨ ਬਤੀਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਪੂਰੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਦ ਕਿਸੇ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਜੇ ਹੋਏ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਬਦਲਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ। ਨਵੇਂ ਘਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਰੇਮਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ਿੰਗ ਤੱਕ, ਡ੍ਰੇਪਰੀ, ਪੇਂਟਿੰਗਸ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਡੈਕੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ, ਅਸੈਸਰੀਜ਼ ਤੱਕ, ਤੁਸੀਂ SK ਹੋਮ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੁਪਨਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਹਕੀਕਤ 'ਚ ਬਦਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ ਸੰਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ 6048259295।
ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਮੈਨ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ? ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਮੋਟਰਸ ਦੇ ਓਨਰ ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸ ਦਾ ਉਦਾਹਰਨ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਾਰ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਖ ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਮੋਟਰਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਸਰੀ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਟਰੱਕ ਸੈਂਟਰ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲੋੜ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜੀਂਦੇ ਟਰੱਕਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਗਾਈਡੈਂਸ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸਪੇਸ ਮੋਡੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਫਿਊਲ ਐਫੀਸ਼ੀਐਂਸੀ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਟਰੱਕ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਟਰੱਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਟੌਰ।
ਵੈਨਕਾਸਾ ਟਾਈਲ ਅਤੇ ਸਟੋਨ ਸ਼ੋਰੂਮ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੀ ਥਾਂ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਲਸੇਲ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਟਾਈਲਸ, ਸਟੋਨ, ਮਾਰਬਲ, ਬੈਕਸਪਲੈਸ਼, ਮੋਜ਼ੇਕ ਆਦਿ ਵਾਜਬ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਟਾਲੀਅਨ, ਸਪੈਨਿਸ਼, ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ ਪੋਰਸਲਨ ਜਾਂ ਸਿਰੈਮਿਕ ਟਾਈਲਸ ਜਾਂ ਮਾਰਬਲ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਆਰਡਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਲੀਅਰੈਂਸ ਤੇ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਮਾਲਕ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟ ਟਾਈਲਸ ਇੰਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ, ਜਿਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ 1304 84 ਐਵਨਿਊ ਸਰੀ। ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ 604 330 7363 604 330 7363। ਹਰ ਇੱਕ NRI ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੀ ਇਹ ਚਾਹ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਆਵੇ, ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਮੱਥਾ ਉਹ ਟੇਕਦਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ। ਐਂਡ ਆਫ ਕੋਰਸ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਜੇ ਆਈਏ ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ਾਪਿੰਗ ਨਾ ਕਰੀਏ, ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਆਫ ਕੋਰਸ ਸੰਭਵ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਹੀ ਲਈ ਇੱਕ ਖੁਸ਼ਖਬਰੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਲ ਰੋਡ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਸਟੋਰ ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਅਨਿਲ ਸਟੋਰ, ਉਹ ਖੁੱਲ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ ਹੈ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਿ ਲੇਡੀਜ਼, ਜੈਂਟਸ ਅਤੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਟਿਚਡ ਅਤੇ ਅਨਸਟਿਚਡ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਖਰੀਦ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਆਓ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸ਼ਾਪਿੰਗ ਕਰੋ ਅਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਹੇਠ ਲਿਖੇ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਅਤੇ ਫੋਨ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫੋਨ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਜੇਕਰ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੇ, ਈਵਨ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ ਅਤੇ ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਸ਼ਾਪਿੰਗ ਵੀ ਕਰਵਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ज़माना बदल गया। आज ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। Again we are talking in English today and our focus today is on how to be your own valuable asset, because you are your own valuable asset. And as I was just seeing this ad in which I am talking about the store from Amritsar. So see, it's an innovation. You have to come up with things. They are saying that sitting over in Canada only, you can buy things and just give them a call and they'll get you the things done. So you have to innovate, otherwise you'll be left behind. That's what Dileep Nigam ji is trying to tell us today. And for that, you have to nurture your skills. So what else we ought to know, Dileep ji? And of course, I'll be talking about the book, what you have written. And we will learn about in this book also, where you have pointed out that how to future-proof your career in the post-COVID era. You have talked about many other skills that you need to bring it further and work on those. So while we are talking about the core skills, anything else which needs to be kept in mind and how to develop these, because that is the most important thing. What and how it is to be done.
Right. So I told you that we have to identify what really we want to polish ourselves. And I'll give a thumb rule here. Two key points: commitment of time and money. And accountability partner. These three things will go a long way in helping you actually accomplish your targets. And you have to be really obsessed about it. You cannot take it lightly. When I did my programs in Singapore to transfer myself from project management core field into commercial management, I really had to commit a lot of time and money. My question is, take a piece of paper or just go in one corner of the house and reflect. How much time and money did you invest on your own self in the past 5 years? You'll be astonished by the results. You possibly, I'm not sure how many dollars would you be able to even count that you invested on your own personal growth. It could be very, very surprising and like come on your face that you hardly invested any money or time. I was delivering a lecture to 100 teachers of DPS International School in Singapore. And I asked them one question. If you want to deliver the best quality education to your children in DPS International, which is one of the most reputable institutions in the world, I want to ask you one question. Do you have a mentor? And if not, who is coaching you? Who is giving a direction and teaching you that you need to invest money on your own self and time on yourself? Are you coming to the school just the way you have been teaching for the past 10 years? Come and teach a syllabus and go back? But if you really want to be a real value adder, you need to add value to your own self to be able to add better value to your students. And that applies to every human being today.
Right.
If you have not invested on your own self, time and money, I'm sorry to say, you are not moving forward. You're
So
stagnating.
investment isn't to be the form of books, seminars, personal growth
Absolutely.
challenges. Okay.
Absolutely. Investment has to be in the form of evening programs, could be online programs, depending and the time. With the money comes time. See, important is you can earn back the money, but you can't earn back time. If you need to change yourself and bring yourself point B to point A, you really need to be aware that you need to invest and commit your time, which people are very reluctant to do. We need to really work on that very diligently. And we talked about accountability partner. I have been accountability partner for my people, for my team in while working as a manager in BC Hydro, and I sponsored their programs, and then I would discuss every month what's the progress on their program, which will be one part of their MBA program which they are doing in the evening. And the subjects people said, I want to do two subjects, two programs. One is communication skills, and the second is conflict resolution. If you move towards management career, you really need to have grip on these kind of subjects. And the next one coming up, big coming up, is cognitive flexibility and emotional intelligence. Very important. How many people actually know what is emotional intelligence and how to apply in the real world today while you are doing a job? If you don't even know that, there are full-fledged programs on that. You really need to look for it, register yourself for that, and start working on it. See, the minimum commitment I'm talking about is 2 hours per day in the evening till you master one skill. If you can commit 1 hour per day, that's also okay. But 1 hour per day could be even online. But if you can commit 2 hours per day on enhancing a specific skill set, see, my recommendation is 1 hour per day on one skill set, 1 hour per day on the second skill set. So you are parallelly working on two skill sets. One is the core skill set, and the other is the soft skill, whether a current skill or a new skill. But you need to commit to that till you become to attain certain level of excellence in that. It need not be 9 out of 10, but at least 8 out of 10. You are confident and are able to ask yourself a question: are you able to teach this skill set to a fellow peer in your peer in the company or to your team? I asked a question recently to somebody. I said, when we are talking about COVID period, now actually offices are open, but I asked him a question. I said, how are you spending your time these days in the COVID? I mean, you have been working from home, so you definitely have saved the travel time. Do you think it could be a smart strategy to invest that time which has gone in traveling normally into your own upgradation? She says, yeah. I said, are you doing it? She says, yeah, no, actually. You know what? This answer would be no for many people, right? Now, I asked him a question. I said, imagine your boss calls you tomorrow and says, Paji, you are promoted. From tomorrow onwards, from next week onwards, you're leading a team of 20 people. You are promoted. You didn't ask for it. You are given the
capability of
promotion.
leading them, right?
Do you have the capability of leading them? Are you ready for that promotion? You ask yourself that question. And if not today, when will you be ready? To be able to progress in life 5 years from now, you got to start working on it today.
Right.
That's what it's all about. It's about being very conscious and very intentional about your personal growth. And if you are, you would be able to grow forward and move yourself to a next level of success journey.
Right.
And it is only you who can take the initiative with a conscious heart and mind. Now, why I use the word heart? Mind is fine. Mind tells you to get registered. Many people get registered for a gym, but only the heart will bring them every single day there.
Right. You have to be passionate about what you want to do.
There you go. You got to be obsessed about it. You got to be very passionate about what you want to do in life. Nobody can see, it's like this. We are all adults. We can be motivated by anybody but ourselves. And we will be only motivated if we are driven by a bigger mission in our life, be it our family, be it our own self, or whosoever.
Right.
But we will have to be, since I became a coach about 5 years back, John Maxwell coach, I have, RPG, not to brag about it, but I possibly have invested over 40 grand in the past 5 years on this journey itself.
Right.
Not that I did not know that. There's no end to learning process. If
But you
I
have to
don't
sharpen your
learn,
skills, no doubt about it. And
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, if I don't have the knowledge, I have no right to sit on your platform
Right.
to even talk to the community. I need to be very thorough about what I'm talking, and I need to be adding certain value to the people who listen to me. That's what this book is all about when I'm talking about.
Right.
So definitely, I mean, I strongly feel everybody should read this book and listen to this book, read this book, and not just read this book. Take a piece of paper and draw out action points from each chapter. There are 10 success principles I have discussed in that. In fact, I'm now working on the second edition, which will be a blown up version of it, which lots of other bonus elements into that. I'm working on that. And I wanted to say that I want to announce a little bonus thing. So the people, your listeners, they can order my book on you can display the link if you have, and they can order on that LearnDesk platform and use the code success30 to get 30% discount on the book till tomorrow, May 31st.
Okay.
That promotion ends tomorrow. So
Right. So this book, as you are saying, can be purchased at a 30% discount, and that's for our viewers today, you are offering this discount. That's really commendable. So definitely, I believe that people need to work on themselves and realize that we are our own valuable asset, and whatever asset we have to service that. We have to look after that, but we forget about ourselves mentally, physically. So it's time that we start looking after our most valuable asset, and if we start doing that, there's no, sky is the limit, I would say. We can reach to any destination which we want to.
absolutely.
Great. Dileep ji, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much. And once again, where can they go and buy this book from?
So there is a LearnDesk platform. It's called LearnDesk. What you can do is people can text me. I will send them the link, and they get 30% discount on that. So my number is 604 349 4107. So anybody who texts me today and tomorrow, I'll send them the link and the code also, and they can order it and they get 30% discount. But I can promise you one thing: you will not regret that investment.
Okay, wonderful.
It's a very little investment, but it's worth it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much, Dileep ji. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
So, Asin Sade Aaj de Mehman Dileep Nigam ji, and as in the end he has pointed out that he is offering a special discount of 30% to anyone who is listening to this program, watching this program. You can text him at 604-349-4107, and he'll send you the link where you can get the 30% discount on this important book, which is loaded with information which can be beneficial to you. Every evening, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m., we join you with the special guests who are from different fields, and they share their experience, their wisdom, and educate you and inspire you and empower you. So if you also want to be a part of this program, you can contact me at 604-603-7555 anywhere in the world through WhatsApp, or you can email me at harpreetsingh@gmail.com. We end this program here. Thank you for sparing your valuable time and being a part of this program. See you again. Have a safe evening. Stay healthy and enjoy yourself.